What if I told you that your future, everything that can and cannot happen to you, is defined by this simple geometric shape? This isn't some abstract philosophy. This is the light cone, a fundamental concept in physics that dictates the very flow of cause and effect. It sets the absolute unbreakable boundaries of your reality, and by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how. The idea emerged from the work of Albert Einstein, but it was his former mathematics professor, Hermann Minkowski, who gave it its shape, famously declaring, "Henceforth, space by itself and time by itself are doomed to fade away into mere shadows, and only a kind of union of the two will preserve an independent reality." This cone isn't just a convenient diagram, it's a map of causality. It reveals what you can influence and what can influence you, and most surprisingly, which part of the entire universe are, right now, completely disconnected from you. So, the question, what is this shape, and how does it draw an absolute boundaries of your world? Well, to understand that, we first need to appreciate the stage on which all of the reality plays out, the fabric of universe itself. We tend to think of space and time as separate. Space is three-dimensional grid where everything happens up and down, left and right, forward or backward. And time? It's just a clock ticking forward relentlessly. But at the beginning of 20th century, Albert Einstein completely changed our perspective. He demonstrated that space and time are not separate. They are woven together into a single four-dimensional fabric called spacetime. Everything that happens, from a distant star exploding to you blinking your eyes, is an event that has unique address in space-time, 3 coordinates in space and 1 in time. Now, you have probably seen the bowling ball on a rubber sheet analogy for gravity. While compelling, it's misleading because it uses gravity to explain gravity. A better way to think about it is to imagine space-time as a giant block of gelatin. When you place a heavy object in it, it doesn't just create a dip on the surface. The entire structure sags and distorts deep inside. In the same way, mass and energy warps the fabric of space-time directly. But the bigger insight is that how you experience space-time depends entirely on your motion. If you were to fly past Earth in a spaceship traveling near the speed of light, your clock would appear to tick slower and distances would seem shorter compared to someone on the ground. Space and time are relative. But one thing is not relative. One thing that every observer, no matter how fast they are moving, always agree on: the speed of light in vacuum. This universal speed limit is the ultimate cosmic traffic law. It doesn't matter if you're on a sports car or on a bicycle. The red light means stop. For the universe, the speed of light is that absolute barrier, a rule you cannot break, no matter how powerful your engine is. And this one, the single rule, is what creates the shape that defines your future. So let's build one. Imagine you are at a single point in space and at a single moment in time. We'll call this event here and now. The flash of light is the event happening at the very tip, the vertex of our cone. Light radiates from that flash in every direction. Think of it like a ripple from a pebble dropped in a still pond. The ripple expands outward in a circle. Now imagine that ripple isn't just spreading across a flat surface, but is also moving forward through time. That expanding circle, when stacked up through time, traces a shape of a cone. Now, this is your future light cone. It contains every single point in space-time that the light from your match can possibly reach. It contains all possible effects you can have on the universe starting from your now. But that's only half of it. What events could have caused you to strike that match? To find out, we can run the clock in reverse. We see a sphere of light contracting from all directions, shrinking down until it converges precisely to your event. This forms a second cone opening into the past. This is your past light cone. It contains every event in the history of the universe that could have possibly influenced you, right here, right now. And there you have it. The two cones, joined at their tips, form a complete light cone. The angle of the cone's wall is fixed by the speed of light, which is constant for everyone. This means that two people moving at different speeds might disagree on the distance between two events, Just like two people looking at a mountain from different valleys might disagree on how far away the peak is, but they'll always agree whether a specific village is on the mountain or not on the mountain. The light cone is that mountain. Its boundaries are real and agreed upon by all, even if our individual perspectives are different. So we have this shape. What does it actually mean? Its true power is that how it carves up the entire universe into three distinct regions from your point of view. First, there's everything inside your light cone. Your path through space-time, your world line, must always stay inside this cone. You can only travel to the location within your future light cone, and you could only have come from locations within your past light cone. Second, there is the surface of the cone itself. This is the path traced by light and represents the absolute limit of cause and effect. And this brings us to the strangest region, everything outside the light cone. This zone is called space-like, or more evocatively, elsewhere. Imagine you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Your elsewhere is any other ship that's too far away for your shouts to be heard. Until the sound has time to travel across the water, you and the other ship exist in separate bubbles of reality, maybe separate universes. For now, you're causally disconnected. The universe works in same way, but the voice is light and ocean is space-time. Any event elsewhere is utterly disconnected from you right now. You cannot affect it, and it cannot affect you. Think about what it means. In Andromeda Galaxy, 2.5 million light years away, a fleet of starships could be launching right now, but the event is in your elsewhere. It is outside your light cone. The information from that launch, the very first photon of light, will take 2.5 million years to reach us. Until then, that event has no physical consequence for you. The universe, from any single point of view, is partitioned. There's the past that could have affected you, the future you can affect, and then there is everywhere else. The idea of disconnected elsewhere feels vast and cosmic, but it's a reality you experience every single moment. The sun is 8 minutes and 20 light seconds away from Earth. Now imagine that at this exact instant, the sun simply vanished. What would happen here? For next 8 minutes and 20 seconds? Absolutely nothing. The life would continue. The sky would remain bright, the air warm. For 8 minutes and 20 seconds, the sun's disappearance is in your elsewhere. It's outside your past light cone. The information from that event, both light and gravity, hasn't had time to cross the distance, so it isn't part of your reality yet. Your now is being influenced by the sun as it was 8 minutes and 20 seconds ago. Then, after that delay, the sun's disappearance would finally enter your past. The sky would go dark, the earth would fly off in a straight line. The event would, at last, become history. Now this happens with everything. You see a flash of lightning and you hear the thunder seconds later. The sound travels much slower than the light, so the thunderclap takes longer to enter your past light cone. Even a simple conversation is governed by light cones. A person you're talking to is never reacting to your now, but to the you from few nanoseconds in the past. Your past isn't some universal thing. It's the collection of events that have had just enough time to send their information to you. We're about to explore how this shape can bend and warp and what it implies for your future. If this is making the universe feel bigger and more fascinating, take a nanosecond and hit that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that understanding reality is worthwhile endeavor. Now, let's bend some space-time. With all this talk of defined cones and boundaries, it's easy to think that this implies your fate is sealed. But the truth is exactly opposite. Light cone is not a prison. It's a landscape of possibility. Think of your life like a video game. The light cone is the map of the entire game world. You can't just teleport to the final castle that's outside your cone of immediate possibilities. But you can choose which paths to take, which quest to accept, and which mountains to climb. You're free to explore anywhere within the map's boundaries. The light cone doesn't write your story, it just draws the edges off the page. You can't, for example, decide to be on Mars in next 5 seconds. Right now, Mars is in your elsewhere. But you can decide to get on a rocket. That choice puts you in the world line, a path through space-time that will eventually intersect with Mars' world line, all while staying inside your cone of future possibilities. The light cone doesn't eliminate free will, it provides the arena for it. So far, we have been imagining light cones in flat space-time. In this view, all light cones are identical, pointing straight up. But general relativity tells us that mass and energy warp space-time. So what happens to light cones woven into it? Imagine you're trying to walk in a perfectly straight line across a field that is actually on a steep hill. Even if you try to walk straight, the slope will eventually guide you downhill. Gravity does the same thing. Massive objects tilt the field of space-time, and the straightest possible path for a planet is to follow these tilted cones. What feels like a straight path becomes a curve. We perceive this as an orbit. Gravity isn't a pull, it's just the shape of the terrain. For objects like Earth, this tilting is subtle, but what happens when space-time curvature becomes extreme? You get a black hole. Think of it being like a river. Far away from the waterfall, you can swim to either banks, but as you get closer, the current gets stronger, pulling you downstream. This is like the light cone tilting. The event horizon is the point of no return, the spot where the reverse current becomes faster than your fastest possible swimming speed. Once you cross it, no matter which direction you swim, every possible path leads down the waterfall. Inside a black hole's event horizon, the light cones are tilted so far that the entire future, every possible path, points only in one direction, towards the singularity. The singularity stops being a place in space and becomes an inevitable moment in your future. Light cones forces a profound re-evaluation of our place in the cosmos, especially our intuition about now. What does now even mean? It's like trying to define midday for the entire Earth at once. Your midday is when the sun is highest in your sky, but for someone on the other side of the planet, your midday is their midnight. There's no single universal midday. Similarly, there's no single universal now. Your now is simply the vertex of your personal light cone. An observer on a distant star has their own now, but because you exist in each other's elsewhere, there's no objective way to say your nows are simultaneous. The concept of a universal present dissolves. Now, this leads to a deep question. Does all of the time, past, present, and future already exist in static block universe, with our consciousness just experiencing its path through it? Or is the future genuinely unwritten? Scientists and philosophers continue to debate these possibilities. What is clear is that human perception of time is strictly a local phenomenon. The light cone reveals a universe that is far stranger than our senses suggest. Our connection to the cosmos is defined by the light that has had time to reach us. Our influence is limited to the light we are able to send out. From this single flash of light, we have constructed the very architecture that defines the limit of our reality. The light cone emerges from a simple rule that the speed of light is constant, and from it, the entire framework of cause and effect unfolds. It shows us that our past is the sum of all events that could have touched us, and our future is the range of all events we can ever hope to touch. It reveals a vast, silent elsewhere filled with moments that are, for now, as unreal to us as a story yet to be told, and demonstrates how mass can bend this structure, creating the force of gravity and forging prisons of space-time where the future has only one possible destination. Light cone is not a cage. It is the ultimate framework of reality. It is the proof that while your future isn't written, the pages it can be written on are fundamentally defined by the speed of light. You're a traveler through space-time, and light cone is your map. Your life is the path you chart across it. So where will you go next? If this journey has sparked your curiosity, subscribe for more explorations into the nature of our universe. Thanks for watching.